Hi dears, today we can discuss a new topic, self-help groups for the poor. In the previous session, we discussed the formal and informal sources of credit. At the same time, we also discussed the need of extending formal sector loan to wherever formal sector credit to the rural areas. At the same time, you know that still people they are depending informal sources of credit. Why is it so? Because banks are not present everywhere in rural India. Even when they are present, getting a loan from a bank is much more difficult than taking a loan from informal sources. Reason you clear now? Banks are not present everywhere in rural India. At the same time, if they present, getting a loan from the banks also very difficult. That is why people depending informal sources. What's the next reason? In the formal session also we discussed that Mega he depend a formal sector to get the loan, and there are a lot of procedures are there. She also need to produce a lot of documents and also collateral to the bank. So what's the next reason the people depending the informal source to get the loan? Absence of collateral is one of the major reasons which prevents the poor from getting bank loans. Informal lenders such as money lenders, they know the borrowers personally and hence are often willing to give a loan without collateral. So you clear what's the second point here? The absence of collateral, the rural poor households, they depending informal sources. Moreover, the money lenders, they know them personally and willing to lend them. That is why they depend informal sources. The borrowers can, if necessary, approach the money lenders even without repaying their earlier loans. Then the same time, you know that the money lenders, they charge very high rates of interest and keeping no records of transactions and harass the poor borrowers. At the same time, the rural poor households, they depend the informal sources to get the loan. Reasons: banks are not present everywhere. If present, there is very difficult to get the loan. Another thing, absence of collateral, and money lenders, they are ready to provide them loan even though they are not repaid their formal loan. That is why the poor rural households, they depend informal sources. At the same time, we can discuss a new area. People have tried out some newer ways of providing loans to the poor. The idea is to organize rural poor. I think you are familiar here about the Kudumbashree units. So here such a type of units we can call as what? Self-help groups. SHGs. That means self-help group. So what happened here? These rural poor people, especially women, they organize together and form a self-help group and collect their savings. So we are going to discuss about the self-help groups. What is its peculiarity? A typical SHG, that means self-help group, has 15 to 20 members. That means the neighbors, they meet and save regularly. Saving per member varies from rupees 25 to rupees 100 or more. That means depending on the ability of the people to save. Members can take loans from the group itself to meet their needs. The group charges interest on these loans, but this is very less than what the money lender charges. After a year or two, if the group is regular in savings, it becomes eligible for availing loan from the bank. How it become available or it become eligible to availing loan from the bank? The thing is that Loan is sanctioned in the name of the group and is meant to create self-employment opportunities. So there is, the banks are ready to raise the loans for what? For the self-employment opportunities for the members. At the same time, small loans are provided to the members for releasing mortgaged land, for meeting working capital, for example, buying seeds, fertilizers, raw materials like bamboo or cloth, for housing materials, for acquiring assets like sewing machine, handlooms, etc. For all these purposes, the banks are ready to raise loans. Without collateral, now the banks are ready to raise loans to the self-help group by seeing their regular savings. See that? Without collateral, now the banks are ready to raise loans to these self-help groups by seeing their regular savings. And here, loan-based decisions. All these loan-based decisions and the savings taken by the group members. The group decides as regard the loans to be granted, the purpose, amount, interest to be charged, repayment schedule, etc. So, loan-based decisions taken by the group members themselves. So, here it is the group which is responsible for the repayment of the loan. So, decisions related to the loans are taken by the group members. At the same time, the all group members, they are responsible for the repayment of the loan. Any case of non-repayment of loan by any one of the members in the group, what happened? The other members, they took it serious, or they can take it as seriously. So what happened? Any case of non-repayment of loan by any one member is followed up seriously by other members in the group. Because of this feature, banks are willing to lend to the poor women when they organized in self-help groups, even though they have no collateral as such. So banks are ready to provide loan to the self-help groups without collateral, means seeing their regular loan, and the responsibility of the repayment of the loan also lies to whole members of the group. Seeing this, banks are ready to provide loan to the self-help groups. So the self-help groups help borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral. Earlier, poor people, they are depending the informal sources because of the lack of collateral. Now, forming a self-help group, it helps the borrowers to overcome the problem of lack of collateral. They can get timely loans for a variety of purposes and at a reasonable rate of interest. Now, they will get the loan at a reasonable rate of interest. Moreover, self-help groups are the building blocks of the organization of the rural poor. The self-help groups are the building blocks of organization of the rural poor. And also, the benefits of this organizing, that it helps women to become financially self-reliant. The regular meetings of the group provide them a platform to discuss and act on a variety of social issues such as healthcare, nutrition, domestic violence, etc. So, one side, the self-help groups helpful to the women to organize themselves for a savings, to get credit without collateral. At the same time, it gives them a platform to discuss different social issues. So, there is another solution to get the loan without collateral, or to reduce the poor households depending the informal source of credit, that is self-help group organization, or arranging the self-help groups. So dear students, go through this area, and have any doubt you can contact me. Thank you. Have a nice day.